Maybe I could love myself for being an introvert. Maybe I could love myself for taking care of my...
Oh, ooh, you are listing things that
Oh, still
you're loved
achievement.
for.
Yeah.
I'm loved because.
Ooh.
How about just loving yourself?
Yeah.
As you are. You are who you are. You were advised by your family to stop working for a while.
But I was working because it took so much energy to reprogram the things that I valued,
Right.
way that I spoke.
Extremely hard work.
Yeah, the things that I thought and the way I spoke to myself.
That last one was
I thought you were going to say, amen.
on the verge, but
I love it. No, waiting until this is done, or you have to do this before. No, go take your nap. Like, it's just like the surrender to me.
Yeah, that was a big part of it, was not listening to this external time frame schedule, but listening to your internal clock, your internal voice, your internal energy needs. You had to switch what was kind of running you every day. All your friends were having their second and third babies.
Yeah, it was like, I don't want to get the F on the assignment.
All right.
But I had to surrender that ego and that desire to be like, but I know that what's meant for me is to take care of my inner self first. Long term, I want to be happy. I want to feel settled. And I know that finding my purpose, not just finding it, but like finding peace within myself and my life, that's going to make for a better relationship, for a better mothering experience.
One of the powerful things I remember you discovering or learning was that you were searching all these things, like boyfriends or job, to make you feel better. I will feel better when I have a job. I will feel better when I'm loved by a husband. I will feel better when... And will you tell, what did you learn?
Energetic shifts that honestly transformed all of my life, not just the work. Set the scene for what was happening. Okay. I had my own company designing interiors. I kind of was in this energy of striving and chasing. And how would you say my energy was when I was working?
You were very determined to do it to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you weren't being paid for that. Which you were paying just to get the job done. But you were working, you had a very hard time letting go of things.
Yeah, I think my energy was also with like, when I get this, then once I finish this hotel, then it'll lead me to this other client, or then it'll lead me to this other project. And then one day I'll be able to design spaces I really want, or like chasing, striving.
Right.
And also this feeling of like holding my breath. Like I was like, oh, let me keep, I don't know.
No, you were working that way.
Yeah. And so it came to a head where it was Christmas of 2022, and I was working through Christmas
Day.
I stayed up till like 5 a.m. Christmas Eve working, and then Christmas Day was working through because I thought, anyways, didn't celebrate Christmas with you all. And we took a family walk the next day, and both Elliot and Oliver, my brothers, they just had this like sad feeling. I can almost see Elliot's eyes tearing up. And I think I must have been in still a mood of like, okay, great. Either I was like still hustling, or I was like, great, now we can celebrate Christmas. Like I'd missed the point. I don't remember what came about, but he was just kind of saying like, what happened to Violet? Like, we want our sister back. Like, you're not living life. And he was so right. And I felt it. I felt it because it was so coming from his heart. And Oliver too, he was right there feeling that same feeling of like, this isn't life. And I think I was like, you're right. This doesn't feel good.
No. And it wasn't sustainable. It just was, as you say, you had been lost, and everything that represented kind of who you were was lost in this intensity to do it, get things done, get to the next step, You lost yourself.
And I don't know if this is where I bring it in, but like part of me, I have compassion for it in that like we're kind of raised that way.
Oh, that's what our school system does. You do this, you do well, you go on, you do well, you do go on, you keep passing through, and then there's the next step and the next step. Yeah.
And then you get the diploma, as if like once you get the diploma, life is good. And I was missing that exact disconnect, that I was chasing things I thought I wanted, but I wasn't feeling how I wanted to feel. And the whole sabbatical process, which I'll explain in a second, is helping me almost reprioritize and make sure things were feeling good. I don't care if my hand goes in front of it. We'll just let it. Because it feels good to express myself. The feelings. So anyways, I felt what they were saying. Did we get into enough of that moment in a tenderness way?
Yeah. You know, it was an extremely intense moment when your brothers who love you were telling you how you were living was not viable. You know, it was no way to
It
go
wasn't
through life.
violet.
It wasn't viable and it wasn't violet. So it was a real pivotal life moment where you realized things had to change, that you were down the wrong path.
Which, looking back on it, I kind of am like, wow, I can't, like, in that moment, it was like a scary feeling to feel like, oh my God, I know the path I just went down was the wrong path. I know, but I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the other way of living is yet. I just know I can't sustain what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like, honestly, even though it was scary to know or to feel like I had messed up or that I was lost or this wasn't the way how I was meant to live, it was also opening, because it was like, wait, there's potential. There's like another way to live life. I don't know what it is. I don't know where I'll go, but I have this like twinkling feeling things are opening up. Like I don't have to live in this dungeon of my mind or of my energy. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I also doubt myself as I'm saying this. I'm like, it's not expressing what but then I listen back. I'm like, yeah, you did. You captured it. So just trust.
I mean, you can't go back and put yourself there because it was so incredibly powerful in the moment. But you can look back reflectively and say that this was a powerful moment. You know, I think to to recreate every emotion
Okay,
you had there.
yes. Let me know if I should delete this. But you know what it feels like? It feels like you have to pee really badly, right? And they're like, don't pee, don't pee. And you're holding so tight. Yeah, that's the right answer. Don't pee in your pants in public or like ever. Don't pee. Don't. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this isn't working. I can't live like this. And the pee starts coming.
I don't think I'd put this.
Wait, let me just continue it. And the pee starts coming down your leg. And though you're filled with this fear and shame, like, oh no, people are going to see I've messed up. I messed up. But there's also this great release of like, yeah, I needed to do this. Oh my God. Yes, this is right. Something needed to get out. It felt like that.
Yeah.
Those two conflicting.
Interesting. It's very descriptive. I like the
Okay.
analogy.
Yeah, great. So that was perfect. I love it. I love it. That's the true me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Especially the shame part. It's like, oh, there's something wrong with me that I can't maintain that path. And
Nobody else seems to be peeing in their pants.
right. Yeah.
Everyone's going to see this, and really nobody's seeing. Nobody cares.
Right.
They're all thinking in their own life.
Right.
But as you're doing it, you're like, oh no. Also like, oh yes.
Okay. So you
Okay,
stop.
so I stop. It starts in April of 2023 that I start the sabbatical.
Kind of very briefly, what was your sabbatical about?
My sabbatical was about learning to live life, actually live and feel life and feel joy again and feel the feelings that I felt I used to know how to feel as a kid. Like we're born innately knowing how to find pleasure in life, be silly, be goofy, laugh, run in the field, be calm, take a nap midday,
Yeah.
know when we're needing rest, but also knowing when we're like, I want to twirl. Like,
Well, I meant more like
huh?
people might, you took time off. By a sabbatical, you stopped working, right? I meant more literal.
Thank you.
Because you're going to get to the other, but you were advised by your family to stop working for a while.
Which is beautiful because as you're saying this, my brain is now stop working for money, stop working with a job title that I could post on LinkedIn. But I was working because it took so much energy to reprogram the things that I valued, the way that I spoke.
Extremely hard work.
Yeah, the things that I thought and the way I spoke to myself.
Mm-hmm. That last one was.
I thought you were going to say, amen.
I was on the verge, but.
I love it. Yeah, and that itself was this huge surrender that I didn't know the word surrender really in this positive context until I started yoga. But now looking back, that was a huge surrender of like, oh yeah, I'm not going to pursue any goals. I had little notes like, your job for today is to dance to your favorite song, color in a notebook for no reason whatsoever, not to make a piece of art. Like all these things that were just my quote unquote job. What was fascinating is as I'm starting to embrace, well, let me also say, probably took a good 6 months where I didn't wake up with sheer panic of, wait, what do I have to do? Oh, you don't have to do anything. But I don't know how to do anything. You're going to find your way. Just trust. You don't have to know it right now. And at first, it was definitely filled with busyness. Like, oh, okay, well, I'll go do this grocery store and I'll clean up my apartment. I'll vacuum. I really got into vacuum.
It's an action.
An action step. I didn't know how to be. Or when I woke up and like, anyways, allowing myself to just breathe, be in bed, take a moment. I'm starting to say, okay, what do you want to do today? You're feeling called to just go to the gym and maybe try a fitness class. I didn't ever try fitness classes before because I thought I didn't have enough time and that was something that was too fun. Years only at the gym running on the treadmill. Because it's like, oh, I can quantify that. I can say I've run this many miles for this amount of time. Achievement. To just go to a class for enjoyment with music, to be with community and other people, that didn't enter my consciousness. So I started doing fitness classes. I slowly started yoga, slowly started meditating. Things were starting to shift. I was starting to feel more in life. Let me also just say that I remember calling you one day, 2 separate times, and I was looking at the exterior of my building from my window. I was like, Mom, this concrete is sparkling. You're like, what? You're like, it's just so beautiful. The concrete, I see the sparkles. And like the little glistening rocks had been there all along, but I'd never slowed down enough to like see what was right in front of me. I was like, everything is beautiful all around me and I missed it. Like it was slowing down and seeing the beauty of things.
I think what's also interesting through all of this, I think what allowed you to take the sabbatical without becoming depressed, was the fact that you had already completed your degree in design. So you knew there was something out there that you loved. You knew that this was something you were good at and enjoyed. So that it wasn't like I need to totally find who I am. There was some security in, well, I do have this skill set that I'd like to.
That's beautiful.
But it gave you probably more security than really hasn't found that thing they're good at. And I'm sure the journeys and sabbaticals can give that, but in your case, you did have that already in your life.
Do we
Skill set.
share here that period where I didn't know my path?
Well,
Or we do a separate
maybe at another
podcast?
time, but there was a period where you struggled very much, not having any clue which direction, where your passion was, where your interest was. So it's not like this all of a sudden popped out of nowhere. You've always been on a journey. But at this point, the journey, the sabbatical that you're referencing now or you're describing now is one like, I have this, but I'm not at all fulfilled with kind of the traditional way it's practiced, and I'm not content with who I am when I'm practicing it. I'm so intense. I'm so concerned about achievement and earnings and reputation and where I'm going with it. That you had found your field, but you hadn't found a way to practice it in a way that expressed you or allowed you to be you.
So beautifully put. That was beautiful. Wow. Yes. And I like that you said the reason that you could do this sabbatical this time without being depressed. 10 years prior, almost, I experienced depression. I experienced extreme anxiety because I didn't know my path. I knew that marketing and the path I had previously thought was my path was not my path, but I didn't know what was my path. And that felt so debilitating and destabilizing, especially because, especially at that time, I was trying to prove, subconsciously, I didn't realize, prove to my dad that I could make money and support myself. So there's a whole lot of
A lot going on.
a lot going on. We will do a whole separate podcast on that,
Yeah.
but know that if they're feeling that, experiencing that, that they're not alone and
Right.
that there's hope and you will get through it. I wonder if too, I didn't get anxious as much,
As much.
about not knowing my path because I knew that I'd found my way previously,
Yeah.
that I'd already experienced this process of, oh, I don't know what it is, but I did end up figuring it out. So again, now this time, I don't know more specifically what I will do within interior design, but I can trust that I will figure it out because I did before. And almost I did before it with so much bigger stakes of broader breadth to choose from. And I figured it out. And figured it out is, the words are interesting. I followed.
Yeah, but you found your way to something that probably was innate in you from early on and just hadn't, you had to let it out.
I think too, the also reason it didn't feel destabilizing was I had already done enough interior design that I knew it lit me up. I knew I loved some aspects of
Right,
it. I
right.
really loved the design, the creativity. And I might delete this because I don't like being boastful, but I knew I was good at it.
Right.
I knew that I got national, international recognition,
right.
and that people were wanting me. People were saying, will you design
Yeah.
my spaces? So that confidence soothed me that, okay, people want me, but like, I don't know what I want.
Right.
So let me take some time and figure out my path.
Right.
Okay, you could be what other people are asking, but what do you really want for your life? Which is beautiful.
Yeah.
What was kind of cool is they say, like, you attract what you are. So because at the beginning of the sabbatical, I wasn't fully okay with not knowing where my path would go. So I was attracting people who wanted to know my exact path.
Right.
And
And had found theirs, that they had their path and they found you and they said, well, you should know, right?
um more specifically, they probably won't listen to this. So they knew in general, but they didn't know what to do after or what. So it's almost now looking back, like they subconsciously wanted me to know because if they didn't know theirs.
People that don't know.
Another spiritual topic is that, like, once you decide on something, the universe is going to put you in a similar situation to show, wait, have you really decided this? Is this really what you're going to do? So I was like, okay, I don't need to know the plan. And then I'm dating this person that's like, well, what's your job title? Maybe this person that emailed you, you should do that. And that was like my opportunity to be like, oh yeah, should I? Or no, actually, what do I want? I'm going to just flat out say, I don't know my path and I need time to explore.
I'm not going to jump on something that's hanging there just because it's there.
Yeah. So it got to really strengthen that within me of where I was headed. That was cool. The other energetic shifts.
I think one of the major, major energetic shifts you've touched on here that you had to make was to stop always, always being goal directed and achievement oriented. That learning, I think we had a quote about, rest time is not waste time. that rest time is valuable, and healing and part of life. And that was something you had never, well, for a long time since you were a child, um, been able to do. And so that was a complete relearning experience for you, relearning to that it's okay to do nothing.
So hard, so hard still. I had actually written down almost verbatim, allowing yourself to be worthy of rest.
Mm, that's exactly right. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to, like, oh, I have to work 6 hours and then I can rest. It's just like, it's okay. It's a pretty day. It's a low energy day. It's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
I want I
There's
mean, obviously, life circumstances don't always let you, but when the opportunity's there, you never were able to take it. And now you've seen like, okay, I can spend the day just sitting with my dog for a while or going out and just being people. So
You're right. I never took days off. And honestly, that was probably making my work less productive, or I wouldn't have clarity. I never took days off. And then during the days, I would work and then work out and then grocery shop and then eat dinner and then bed. There was like no time to be,
right.
no rest, no.
It was all like, okay, I can fit him in here, here, here.
Yeah.
It was kind of, I have to have a plan type of
Yeah.
mentality. Yeah.
And I remember this moment, I think it was that sound bath class where I had that like shaking body
Yeah.
awakening. But at the start of that class, we're listening to sound bowls and beautiful sounds. And my mind is just like, am I allowed to be here? Granted, it's a Sunday at 3 p.m., but I'm like, I'm not doing work. And I was like, you're allowed to be here. You're allowed to be here. This is restorative. This is helping you. Just be with the sounds. I'm like, okay, I hear the sounds. They're good. I think I've been here enough time. I look at the clock. It's 5 minutes. This is an hour-long sound bath. Like my brain, and I also have a great friend that when I told her that I had started getting into meditation and yoga classes, she was like so insightful, was like, I can't do those because I can't slow down for that.
Mhm.
She's like, that seems like I'm wasting my time. And actually, I wonder if that's plain. I wonder if that's why Yin Yoga spoke to me so much, because in one pose, after about like a minute, I'd be like, enough. I've already stretched. I got to move on to the next. I got things to do. And that's when I was like, listen to what the teacher says. The teacher's saying, just be here. Just breathe. And like physiologically shaking, I can feel stars in my head, tingles in my body, because I'm like, I'm allowed to be here. All you need to do is breathe. And like that's when like things start unlocking and my body's like collapsing into the pose, because it's like recognizing, yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. That's what we know when we're kids. Like, you need a nap, you just take a nap.
Right.
You need water, you just drink your water. Like, no waiting until this is done, or you have to do this before. No, go take your nap. Like, it's just like the
Yeah.
surrender to
Yeah,
being.
that was a big part of it, was not listening to this external time frame schedule, but listening to your internal clock, or internal voice, your internal energy needs. You had to switch what was kind of
Ooh.
running you every day. It was no longer a schedule.
Yeah, I wanted to come back, and don't let me forget, because you can take your time. There's no rush. Both times when I came back to South Carolina for the spring, and I had a plane book back for like a week later, because I had to get back. I had things to do, whatever. I think this constant moving, even if it's like, no, I got to do this thing, and then I'm going to fly here, and then I'm going to do this activity. I think you actually need to be here and not move and allow whatever comes up to be there, and learn how to be wherever you are instead of doing these things but never focusing on what's going on as you're doing these things internally.
It's a cardinal.
They should have some technology to say remove birds.
Just like on the pictures now, you can rub your finger and it'll somehow erase. Well, the birds are part of life.
Yeah, they're beautiful. If that's not an analogy, let me just erase these 3 years that I was figuring out myself. No, allow it. Allow it.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to actually go here because I want my podcast to be truthful and vulnerable and help other people who may be feeling this. It was last year when I came back to South Carolina that I was still chasing that. And I say I need because that's how it felt. It didn't feel like want. I need to get married and I need to have children soon. And part of it too was that external pressure. Like, I want to show you that I can.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give this back to you. It was all this like external focus and self-proving. And almost within myself, if I'm actually being self-reflective, it was proving that I could keep up with the Joneses.
Especially down here in the South. All your friends were having their second and third babies.
Yeah, it was like, I don't want to get the F on the assignment.
All right.
But I had to surrender that ego and that desire to be like, but I know that what's meant for me is to take care of my inner self first.
Mm-hmm.
And to almost see the long versus the short. The short term, I want to get married. Long term, I want to be happy. I want to feel settled. And I know that finding my purpose, not just finding it, but like finding peace within myself and my life, that's going to make for a better relationship, for a better mothering experience.
One of the more powerful things I remember you discovering or learning or incorporating, whatever, was that you were searching all these things, like boyfriends or even a job, to make you feel better. I will feel better when I have a job. I will feel better when I'm loved by a husband. I will feel better when I have 2 children. And will you tell, what did you learn?
That if you don't change the way you're operating, you will continue that mode of operation when you get those things and onto the next. That, oh, I'll feel better when I get my degree and I've graduated. And then that comes. Well, I don't feel better. So I'll feel better when I get this client. And then you get that client and you don't feel better. Oh, well, maybe shift of focus. I'll feel better when I get the boyfriend. But if you're not changing in this moment, pausing to shift, wait, how can I make myself feel better now? Let me reframe. If you can pause and figure out how to make yourself feel better now in this moment, then you can bring that with you in the next moment and actually feel better and feel good no matter what you're doing. You've switched it so that you're no longer chasing this next achievement or thing to feel better. You get to feel better now. And from this place of feeling better now, well, then what do you want to do? Your whole life can shift because you're feeling better. Your whole idea of where your life could go could be totally different. And it sounds easy, like, oh yeah, just figure out how to feel better right now. But I think that's where I started learning all these tools that a lot of them I do teach in the courses that I teach, the intuition and interiors. For me, I had to learn, when did I feel better? I felt great as a kid. And what was I doing as a kid? I was taking time to actually play. I was taking time to actually rest. I was probably meditating in my own sense out in nature. That actually I needed to start practicing these things now so that I could start shifting how I was feeling. And that did slowly start to change how I was feeling. And then it was changing how I was showing up in my relationships with you and my brothers. And I'd meditate before dinners. And then I'd show up and be like, wait, that was actually fun. And I actually felt okay here versus like, okay, good, that was done. I remember.
Right? It's kind of how you did all activities in life. Okay, check, done.
And honestly, that's how I was attracting past people, that they were like, I have this friend's birthday party I have to go to. I don't really want to go. And so I was like, why don't you want to go? Like, oh, I don't really like them. I'm like, so why are you going? Because I have to. I have to show up and then I'll be done. No feeling about like, wait, I actually don't feel good with these people, or I don't feel like I want to, and trusting that feeling, which is also scary to say, wait, I'm going to trust how I'm feeling versus what I think I should be doing or think I have to do. And you helped me a lot with the fuck the shoulds.
Yeah. Get those shoulds out of here. But I should do this.
And follow the feeling.
The other big thing you learned was to love yourself. Rather than waiting, oh, I'll feel loved when someone loves me. And you realize, no, 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 I need to love me. And then someone else can choose or not choose to love me, but I need to love me.
Ooh, I love that one.
Right?
That was a
You.
huge one.
Yeah, that was a big one for you.
Right. Because I kept thinking, I'll feel loved or I'll love myself when this guy likes me, when this job, whatever my brain had put on as then I'll be worthy of love. Oh, then I'll feel loved. I don't even think I went to that step of then I'll love myself. So instead I had to say, remove all that. Imagine there's no external. How can you show yourself love right now? How can you love yourself right now? And one specific moment, I remember being at a fitness class at 7 p.m. on a Friday night. And there are all these people in this class. And I'm judging myself like, remember I used to like
Oh, yeah.
not be able to tolerate a Friday because I was so embarrassed that I wasn't going out, and I don't drink. And so I remember being in this fitness class being so ashamed, like, wow, all the cool people are probably out pre-gaming for some party tonight, all the cool people in the universe, in the world. This is so embarrassing that I'm at the gym on a Friday night. And all of a sudden I'm like looking around at all these people and I'm like, in my head, girl, you're amazing lifting that weight. Oh boy, I'm so proud of you that you're dedicating to your health on a Friday night. I'm like, you're feeling and sending love to all these people. Can you pause? And I remember there was a mirror to my left, and I just paused and I looked at myself and I was like, send yourself love. I'm proud of you for being here, and I love that you're an introvert. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel actually proud to be there or loved that I was an introvert. But I was like, take a moment and say that to yourself. And by looking at myself in this class with all the people that I actually did admire, but I'm there too, I could see it in the mirror. I was like, oh, wait. Okay, I can see the seeds are planted. Maybe I could love myself for being an introvert. Maybe I could love myself for taking care of my health.
Oh, ooh, you are listing things that
Oh,
you're
still
loved
achievement.
for.
Yeah.
I'm loved because.
Ooh.
How about just loving yourself?
Yeah.
Because you are. You are who you are. Not
Wow.
because you can do fitness, not because you.
Yeah. How did that start?
I don't know.
I think it was yoni massage and mirror work
Yeah.
and these meditations.
Yeah.
Especially
Like
mirror
one day
work.
you came to me and you said, Mom, I really love myself. Yes. And it was probably a long time since I'd heard you say anything like that.
Wow. Two things. You have to do practices to get yourself in a new way of being, and you have to say it or do it before you actually feel it.
Mm-hmm. And saying it helps.
Yeah. Remember, I would take myself out on dates before I might do these same things where I might still go to the grocery store and then get takeout, but it almost felt like embarrassing. Like, don't let anybody see you because other people are out on dates, like kind of hiding away under my hood. But instead, I started to be like, no, put on your favorite songs in your headphones. Oh, girl, you're so lucky that you get to go to the grocery store and not have other obligations right now. Like, or that you get fresh produce in this world. Like,
Or all these beautiful restaurants you could look into and admire the
interiors or the people in there. Like,
Yeah.
what fun. You can live off that energy without doing that thing, because otherwise I would do the thing and not feel the energy. Why don't we start on the energy and start to feel that joy? And I'd come home and I'd have my shower with my lotions and my scents, and I'd turn the music on and I just dance and I just watch myself and I'd be like, wait, this is actually fun. Like, we're starting to do the things that I thought I have to wait to feel this way when I get the boyfriend. No, start to feel this way now. Do the things now. Enjoy your own company now. And it started to shift things. It was like, I love myself. And sure, when I decide to be in a relationship, that person can be the bonus. Yeah, especially mirror work, looking at myself in the mirror and saying, I love you for who you are. You don't have to do a thing. You don't have to be anybody.
Right.
I love you.
And for you, that also meant I don't have to be perfect. That was a big struggle of yours. Feeling like, well, I can't love myself because I do this and I do that. I'm not perfect. Told you that I'm so grateful you're not perfect. Because what does that mean anyhow? But, to let go of this, whatever you define perfect as, it was a constant no win battle, and you never were feeling good because of that.
Yeah, as you said that, I almost like at first didn't feel it because I was like, wait, I'm still working through that. I'm still working on
And
that one.
accepting your flaws or your eccentricities, which is what we were
Yeah.
talking about, and saying that they're okay. That's not how most people do it, but that's how I do it.
Yeah. And the people who have those same eccentricities, I love it. Like that man who was jogging in basically his underwear yesterday, I loved it. It's like he's just doing what feels good.
His little butt showing every time he took a step.
I loved it. The little jiggle. He was just like, I don't know, pushing that stroller. He was like, I have my life. I love my life. I'm not really worried about others. My little bit of not feeling it or resistance when you said your journey was to realize that you don't have to be perfect. Well, that's beautiful that you can still show up while not being perfect. And I think part of recording these podcasts and starting my Instagram, where before for years I was not on social media, is an embodiment showing myself that I don't have to be perfect.
Right.
Like allowing myself to go out in public without my hair brushed, without makeup on for so long.
Brush your hair at least.
Put on makeup. But allowing myself to be seen in public was part of these, I say embodiment, meaning that sometimes I have to use my body to show my emotions something or to feel something emotionally. So showing up without makeups, I started to feel the shift. Not are you accepted by others in public, but are you okay with
Right.
yourself in public?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. Oh, okay. I'm okay. Trying to think of another embodiment. Okay, here's one. What happened today? This is so first world problems that let me know if I should not even share this. But I'm doing this 10-minute arm workout and my brain, this doesn't have to do with perfection. Okay, well, we'll continue this one because I think it's going to get me there. And then I'll let you go back to work.
Oh, no. Good.
And honestly, I need to speak to the people. No, I don't. But this is such like a gift forever for just to have this recording with you here. Like, just
Yeah.
thank you for being here
Yeah.
and sharing. And nobody knows my journey more intimately than you. And honestly, you can see things within me that I can't always see or that I forget. So it's really special to share this with you. I said that out of breath. Another thing I'm still learning is my voice. Breathe.
You're supposed to breathe when you talk.
Breathe. As I started doing some of these breathing meditations, I realized that I was holding my breath a lot throughout life, especially when I would work and when I would drive. My face could be bright red after.
Mm-hmm.
And I was breathing. I wasn't dead, but I wasn't
Right.
breathing, calming my nervous system. My example didn't have to do with perfection, but I think it gets there. I'm doing this 10-minute arm workout, and my brain has this thought of, we want to book a massage for when we're back next month. And she books up quickly. And I'm like, okay, well, while you're doing this workout, sometimes it's unilateral, only on one side, with your other hand, be on your phone and book this massage, multitask. To me, this is like perfection in the sense of like, you could do it all.
Right.
You could do it perfect. And I said, yes, you could, but see if you can allow yourself to just be only in this class.
Right.
And know that you don't have to be perfect. It may take you longer. You might have to finish the class and then book the massage after. It may not seem as efficient and it may not be the perfect answer. But can you, in this moment, let go of what your brain's saying and trust what your intuition or your body's saying? And my intuition, my body saying, be here and enjoy this class. And I did. I finished the class and then I booked the massage. And I feel like that happens so much in life that once I finished the class, the massage spot I wanted was available. It was waiting for me. But had I tried to multitask and do all the things and be perfect, I would have been like, oh, the spot I wanted.
$72.
um, had I tried to struggle through it all and multitask and be perfect, the exact time I wanted wouldn't have been there. Or maybe it would have, but it wouldn't have felt perfect because I was in that struggle mode. One of my amazing favorite podcasts, I don't even remember her name, but she was saying the beauty of learning to live and work in the feminine flow is you may feel like you're not being as efficient. It's going to take you longer to go sit in nature, or that it feels counterintuitive to take a whole day off just to like be with your loved. But you're going to realize that it's going to lead to so many insights and more creative thinking, and you're going to be able to do the same work with so much more ease and flow that you actually end up doing the work faster, or realizing there's a better way to do something, or there's just an entirely different path that you were meant to take. And she's saying that by surrendering that hustle and getting into that flow, things open up and life becomes so much better and easier. And that was a big learning of my sabbatical too. I designed my courses to teach that balance of yin and yang. It can be called masculine and feminine energy.
You know what I find so interesting is that this sabbatical took you from traditional interior design and architecture that you learned in school. So, to go work at the big firms and be a cog in the wheel. And through this whole pathway, you've come to realizing the importance of intuition and the feminine, the masculine. But what did you choose as your final project of your 3-year course? It was to integrate the symbol of yin and yang, is what I call it, into a building over a multi-story building that you weave yin and yang through all the different floors and rooms and everything. And all their teachers are going, no way, you can't do that. That's just too complex. And darn if you didn't figure out a way. But there it was, right there and then. It was telling you, this is what I want to do. I want to integrate yin and yang into architecture and design. It was like right there. You just had to come to it.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? It just occurred to me, was like, what of all the things you chose to do
For my thesis.
for your thesis, to integrate yin and yang into the interior design.
And what a beautiful metaphor of my journey, that at that time I was doing it conceptually,
Right.
where I was making sure all the elements of the interior design were reflecting yin and yang, a balance of energy. And then my actual business is saying, sure, we can do that with an interior design, but let's also think about our own energy.
Right.
Let's also think about the fact that, sure, we need the spreadsheets and the budgets and those masculine structured energies, but we also need the feminine, the flow, the finding the beauty, the enjoyment to make something feel good in our spaces. That, wow, you said it perfectly.
No, but it's you've now gone from the kind of structural, kind of concrete into the emotion behind that. It like, how do you get there emotionally to be able to integrate yin and yang into architecture and design? So
Wow. I think to me also, as you said, this was before I didn't realize that I was living and working in that masculine mode, striving,
totally.
achievement, goals. The yang energy, it's more fiery. So it's goals, but also it's like a little bit tighter, not really feeling things, not really allowing emotions, but logic, what your
Right.
brain says need to get done. And then during my sabbatical, I listened to some podcasts where the girls were talking about how they loved going into anthropology, and even their voices like were softened. Just fun being in that, I think she said, in that feminine flow, just feeling and touching and enjoying the design of things. And that's where I was like, whoa, that's what I was missing in my own process, is the enjoyment, the beauty. Or I had sometimes captured the feeling, but I didn't allow myself to say that I enjoyed the beauty of it.
Right.
I needed like the conceptual reason of why it looked good, quote unquote, versus like, wait, no, this just feels good. I don't know why I'm called to it, but like pink polka dotted sparkles is what I want, or whatever it is.
Made a lot of designs, and I don't think anything was pink polka dotted. Maybe now. Maybe now.
Well, maybe it's like allowing yourself to say, I'm really drawn to this because it has a memory. It ties to my grandmother. And that's speaking to me, and know that that's enough. That you don't need something because Pinterest says this is the newest trend,
Right.
or this is the color of the year. No, what color are you drawn to? What makes you happy? Like, that's the aspect that I really
And long before you went down this path, when I asked you what color did you want me to paint your bedroom, you came up with 4 colors.
back in
We painted
10th
the room,
grade.
each wall a different color. You didn't want just a pink room or a blue room. You wanted
Yeah.
all these colors to surround you. So this was always a part of you. Like with the yin and yang, it's always kind of been there, but you had to put it all together. So
Oh my God.
you have to
Yeah.
slow down enough, open enough. That's another big thing you talk about is opening yourself. You know, you were holding so tight. You were just so tense and tight inside, and you've learned to open your heart, open your mind, open your energy. And
Yeah. It was like when I did open up and start to feel, I could then get more clarity of like seeing things that had always been there, but I didn't realize. Like, as you said, as a kid, I always loved rearranging my room. Or not only did we have our house painted, you let me paint it. Like, I loved the process of artwork and creation
Right.
from a young age.
Yeah.
And that made me excited. I remember my purple boombox used to play, even as I painted the cabinets
Yeah.
at our first house. But
you lost that, and the
that.
process has allowed you to come back to that, the joy of creating.
Yeah.
You may have been able to be very creative, but the joy of it, and as you say, when you're dancing around and your heart's open and the music's playing, you feeling it rather than just designing it.
Oh, wow. You've touched on so many things. Let's do a separate podcast one day about how, like, dancing and music and yoga and getting yourself in that feeling state then leads to so many better
Right.
creative ideas. Or when you're then designing, you're able to actually feel it. And so you're not stuck in your mind of, wait, do I pick this or that? You're like, no, I just feel drawn to this one. You can, like, feel things.
Right.
And that was another thing the sabbatical helped me do, was it helped me feel emotions deeply and feel ecstatically happy and blissful. But the only way I got to those feelings of ecstasy, bliss, joy, happiness was allowing myself to also feel sad and allow myself to cry and know that a feeling only lasts for 90 seconds if it's fully expressed. So allow yourself to feel as sad as you need to feel. Bring up any memories, go back to places from your childhood, and know that you are safe to feel whatever comes up. That you, who you are now, have got yourself, create that safety. So allow whatever is there to swim about.
It's part of the opening up, and as you say, unblocking. To allow yourself to feel the joy, you have to kind of remove the blocks to it.
Remove the blocks.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know, I was going to share that during that depressed time where I finally one day felt joy, and I called you up and I said, Mom, I think I felt happiness again. And you're like, oh, honey, I'm so glad, but I'm so sorry you haven't been able to feel that. I was like, no, I've been numb. And then on the flip side, fast forward 10 years and the sabbatical, to call you up and say, like, I love life. Everything feels amazing. I love myself. I love where I'm going. I love not knowing where I'm going. I love all of it. Like, just to feel love
Right.
flooding through me. Like, what a shift. But I had to do these practices to allow the pain in too, and allow the pain be expressed. And honestly, I had to go through that 10-year period of therapy, of processing the painful things,
Right.
probably to allow
Right.
the joy to then come after. The other thing I wanted to bring up was this theme of teaching, that I have kind of always loved teaching, but it took the slowing down to give me space to reflect and realize that after I graduated NYSID, teachers were already asking me back to be judges, to be assistant teaching, to be helping with their students. And afterwards, well, this is an external, their feedback was like, the students loved you. You were so inspiring. You helped them so much. You connected to with where they were and inspired them to where they could go. Please come back. Please come back. And I remember both teachers had to say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm actually taking a pause to figure out myself. Now I'm realizing you had to take the pause to realize, how did you feel while you were teaching? I loved teaching. I loved helping them take what they wanted within design and actually enhance it or make it better, not change their path, not tell them what I needed to teach them. No, help them along their own path. That was such a joy.
They're
It
probably
lit me
very
up.
pivotal moments for you to realize you enjoyed that. I mean, obviously, because that's where you ended up going.
Yeah. Then the one other final uplifting one I'd written was that I think there's a reason you named me Violet.
Because there's a lawyer in Cambridge named Violet.
What?
We were mailing mailings, and we had a list of all the residents of Cambridge. And I told my mom to read out all the names out loud to see if we could find one we liked. And there's a lady in Cambridge named Violet.
Spelt the same way?
No,
Oh,
that's
wait,
another
that's
part of the
so
story.
funny because what I was about to say, why you named me Violet, is almost 180 degrees opposite because it's like lawyer, political, like all these things that like aren't who I am. But I love that it
For some reason, that name
spoke to you.
spoke to me.
What was the reason
we
it spoke to you?
well, I don't know. There's just something about it that seemed beautiful, and I like purple, but it was more than that. It just seemed sunny and violety and violety.
Nature.
Yeah, it just, I mean, they read, 500 other women's names that were all decent, but there's something about that name that I just went, yes, I love it.
Oh, cool.
So it just having it been brought to my attention that made me realize that that's what I wanted to name you.
Oh, cool. They say that too, that if something comes within your field of consciousness, it's because it's meant for you. That there may be, as you said, thousands of names coming through, but like it spoke to
Well,
you.
the
Like
the
you can pay
double
attention to
whammy with
that.
the name is days before you were born, we were touring the maternity ward, and you know how they put the last names on the little baby bassinets where the newborns are. And there was a baby whose last name was Violet, spelled Ette. Now, it happens to be a Haitian last name, but on the little bassinet said Violet. And your dad went, I love it. If we spell it that way, that can be your name. So it kind of
Wow.
was me finding the spark and him finding the way to make it fit you. So,
I used to want to be called Lauren. Like I wanted a normal American name. But now I love how expressive my name is of my essence. That's why when I changed my last name, I didn't want to change my first. Because the fact that it's Violet, flower, nature, but then ETTE, it was like, oh, how could you not be this unique being that you are? Like your name destined it. No, everybody's a unique being that they are. Wait, I have one thought about it. So everybody's unique, and you guys just happen to name me that. It's pretty cool. What I realized about the name was that it kind of speaks to resonance, where there was already something within you that liked that feeling of what it expressed. And then when it showed up, it was like, yeah, that's it. That's the name. But it's because it was already within you. And so when it came across your field, you could identify, yeah, that's speaking to me. And so I feel like when they say when something comes across your field for a reason, if somebody comes across my podcast or my Instagram, there's a reason that they clicked on it, that they were interested in it, because there's already something within them that was either interested in their intuition or interior design. That there are a bajillion, I don't know how many, billions of Instagram accounts
right.
or podcasts. The fact that this one pop up or they would be interested in tapping on the link, it's because it's resonating with something already within them. Cool. What I had written down about why you would name me Violet. I'll just say what I was going to say. Flowers bloom in their own perfect timing. So we may want a flower to bloom in the middle of winter, but that's not the timing that's meant for them. And certain flowers may bloom in April, but others don't bloom till May. everything in nature will bloom in its own perfect timing. I wrote down, this was not the path I thought I wanted, but the path I ended up needing, or the path that was meant for me. What I had to learn on the sabbatical was trust your process. Even if things take longer, whatever's meant for you in your life will bloom in its own perfect timing. So give things time and space.
It's like our dogwood tree out front. Every other tree in our neighborhood, the dogwoods have bloomed, but ours is just slowly, slowly, little bud at a time. But it's gonna be right.
It's gonna
be
make
beautiful.
it. It's gonna
Yeah.
be there. Okay. Well, how do we want to end this?
Yeah. What were you hoping to convey and share?
Right. Right. I was hoping to share some of the things that I loved that I got to experience in my life and that brought me to this place. I can tell my body isn't feeling the energy. Maybe I need to hydrate. I get nervous. I get nervous at the end that I haven't expressed all that I wanted to express and that it isn't complete, but maybe that's my surrender here,
Right.
knowing it doesn't have to be perfect. You already are enough.
Right. That's a good ending.
Ah.
You've got as enough right now.
Yeah,
and
you
we
can
don't
come
need
back
to.
later.
Yeah.
We'll trust the feeling.
Right.
Oh, I
There
love
we go.
that. I love
Right.
that. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
my
you.
sweet.
That was beautiful.